Hello everyone. Today I'm going to talk about coaching, especially in the competition, not in the training, not the coaching methods in the training or coaching philosophies in training or routines or anything. I'm going to talk a little bit about the training uh, or coaching in the competition because when we have a provincial level competition, we have a coach. Some people, unfortunately, they don't have a coach. But when we have a national championship, most of the time, most of the nations, they appoint a national coach who will be coaching everyone. But most of the time, I've seen coaches, they come from their own provinces, or some people they have their own personal coaches who are paid sometimes. And when we go to the World Championship, we have more than one coach, but still there is always one coach is called the head coach, and the assistant coaches or just coaches to help the head coach. At that time, it is very hard to make the lifter strong than he is already. I would rather say we can't make them stronger. But the good coach always try to make his lifter perform the best he is capable of. They try to dig out all the strength the lifter has in him, physical strength, and try to boost as much as possible their mental strength and mental stability, and to give them or to boost their morale, or to make them feel comfortable or at home, or to feel them at ease under the pressure of big championships. Because sometimes the lifters are already very experienced lifters. They have a lot of experience. They competed already in so many competitions or championships. But some lifters, this is their first big championship, and they become nervous. Most of the time, lifters follow whatever the coach tell them. But some very experienced lifter, they can suggest to their coach what they want, what they are capable of. And a good coach always listen to the lifters, or rather I will say, instead of lifters, the athletes. They always work along with the coaches, and they have to agree on something which is better for the athlete and for the coach. But mainly, there are two kind of philosophies most of the coaches they follow. One is called a negative approach or negative philosophy, and the other one is positive. I will try to touch a little bit negative first. Personally, myself, I never believed in negative approach. Sometime probably it will work, but most of the time it doesn't. Some coaches said they believe if they tell the lifter he could not perform better, he could have done better if you do this way, it will be better for the team, and it will be better for the coach, or better for the nation or the province. And they always like try to push them, which is okay. But when they use always negative remarks, how the lifter is a loser, or he could have done better, this and that. Sometimes the lifters are already under pressure, and they become more nervous. And I will say, without knowing, many lifters, they don't even know or realize. Probably some coaches, they don't know this either. They just some sort of like nervous system shut down, because the nervous system tell them they're not good, and they always think negative. They try the weight, and they can't even attempt to lift, and they start to feel actually worse than they should be. And some coaches, they say if they tell them they couldn't do it, they could perform better, and it can give them some adrenaline rush. But I think adrenaline rush is not always possible. It is always possible if the lifters, they feel good or feel comfortable, and they want to win. And if other lifters or coaches or head coach, they encourage them and tell them that they can perform better in positive way, it will work. There's so many actually experiments when the lifters or the athletes are told they can perform better, they are capable to do better than they even think, they always perform better. And on the other hand, if we tell them negative, even if kids, you tell them always negative, they cannot do this, they were not able to do this and that, they become sad, and sometimes they have some other problems too. The same philosophy goes with the athletes, and as I said, I never believed in negative philosophy, and I think most of the time we should try to deal with the athletes a positive way. And I've seen sometimes in the competition, because many organizations, especially powerlifting, the IPF, even technical rules say that the head coach has the right to decide what the lifter will lift. Sometimes the lifter doesn't want to lift that heavy, and the coach is really mad because he wants him to win so that they can get team points. Or some coaches, they are paid by the nations. If they win certain medals, or they will not make money, or sometimes they are afraid they can lose their job too, which is very important for them. I'm not saying that the coaches should not push the lifters at all, but what I'm saying here, sometimes the coach want to win, maybe because of his job, or sometimes they have self-pride and they want to brag how much they push the lifters to lift more, and they make how many personal best, or they set the record, or they just get the team points and they won the team trophy, so that they can train more people. Because some coaches, this is their living. When they come back, people ask them, how many champions did you make, or this and that. But I still think the positive philosophy always work better, and we have to work and together and try to make the athletes as comfortable as possible. Comfort doesn't mean like physical comfort. Of course, we have to push them beyond their limits most of the time in the competition to win. But what I'm saying, they should not be under any mental pressure. They should not be afraid to lose and face the wrath of the coaches, and sometimes even their teammates start to make fun of them, which is a negative thing, which I really don't like. The worst coaches for me are who are probably, I don't know, they take a negative or positive approach usually, but they become angry very easy, and they are always frustrated. If they pick a lift and the lifter probably say, I can do it, or maybe the lifter say, I cannot do it, but the coach believe it's an easy lift and they should do it, and they don't do it, the coach become frustrated and start to shout and yell. And I've seen some examples when the lifters, they do not perform that good. Coaches, they start to swear and shouting and yelling and spitting, and even making fist in the air. I mean, that's the worst thing a coach can do. Sometimes we have experienced in the past a few competitions I've seen myself, that the lifter is far behind in a competition compared to the other lifters, which doesn't look good. Some coaches, they feel embarrassed or bad when they go for the next attempt of their lifter, or when they're called to lift the weight, and the coach feel bad because the lift is so low, it's unreal. I will still say it is not alone the lifter's fault. If the lifter is allowed, I want to ask, who allowed them? Who allow him or her to lift? The national organization. So what the national organization is doing, they should set up high total qualification, and so that the lifter cannot go. And the reason I blame the national organizations or people who pick them, they probably pick their relatives or their friends, or they have some money somehow, because I have no proof, but probably some nations or some people that do it, because otherwise sometimes we see some lifter, they have a ridiculously low total or the lift. They wouldn't even qualify for a local meet and they are in the world championships. So rather than to blame the lifter alone, complain to their organization. Even if it's powerlifting, I belong to IPF all my life, complain to IPF. Why do they accept the entries of these lifters? They should question them. They should try to set up some totals rather than just to shout and jump at the lifter. Because if a coach is not happy with the lifter's performance because his or her total is too low, I also blame the coach, and I will say she is not a good coach, because when they see the team roster, they know the total. They know what the lifters performed best in the past. So it's not a miracle that in 1 or 2, 3 weeks or a month, the lifter will lift probably double or triple or time and a half what their total was. So they know it. If they still want to offer their services, paid or not, it's their fault. If they don't want to help the lifter, they feel bad and they feel embarrassed because they are going to help these lifters in the world championship or a national championship, they should not apply for this job. They should not ask to be a coach or a head coach or assistant coach. They just should not apply for it. If the nation asks them to go, they say, look, I cannot help these people. But if you accept, you applied for it, or someone requests you, you accept this job, it is your moral duty. Ethically, you are responsible to help these lifters, regardless the person in the same group squat 500 or 7 or 800 or 900, regardless the squat lift difference of between this lifter and the big one is 100 pounds or 200 pounds, it is your responsibility to help the lifter. Your duty is to get the best this lifter can offer. I have seen in some world championships, people like 70, 80 kilo class, some girls, they're benching like 30, 40 kilos. Is it their fault alone? And should the coach say, I'm not helping you because your lift is no good? Where is the nation? Where the national organization? Who sent them? Why the big organization accept that? Those lifters. So if my only bottom line is, if you take responsibility of something, I'm referee most of the time or on the jury. So what are you supposed to say? If a big lifter coming to squat 800 or 700 or 900 pounds, in the same group, one lifter come, he asks 400 or 300. Should I leave my chair as a referee that I'm not judging this because the lifter is not very good, or the lifter is weak or something, or his technique is no good? Same is the referee, and the same like the coaches. If they take responsibility, they should fulfill their responsibility. They should not walk away. If a coach become angry or nervous or very easily provoked, he should not be a coach. If I have the authority, if I know this guy will lose temper or he will act like this, I will never send him as a coach. I'm not talking about any particular person. I'm just talking that this video will be on YouTube for everybody throughout the world. So this is just a simple philosophy. Now I come to another kind of coaches from some countries. It could be any country. I'm not blaming any country. They come and they have no clue what the coaching is. They are just appointed because they're friends. They know some high-ranking authorities or executives in the sports organization, or they are friend of the government minister or something. They go as a coach, but they go for vacation on holidays. They don't even show up in any kind of competition. I'm not talking about weightlifting or powerlifting alone. It could be any team game, and the athletes are there, the team is there playing. When they need their coach, they have no clue where the coach is. Sometimes they wouldn't see them for 1 or 2 days, and the team is on their own. These are the worst people. They don't fit in any kind of philosophy, but I'm only telling people that this is what happened. Some coaches, they are good coaches. They know what they're doing, and they always talk positive, but sometimes they're so careless, they don't care. They're just happy talking to people. They are just want to make some friends and fooling around and giving thumbs up to everyone. And their lifters sometimes asking how much I should lift, what I'm supposed to do. They say, let me talk. When the coaches, they take this responsibility. If I will not talk about like man or woman. When I say he, usually it's understood. I'm trying to talk about the rank, not like the woman or man. Like when I say coach, he, that even if it's the female coach, it's a coach. And I will say, coach, when he go to the team, especially, I'm not saying head coach alone, but because head coach is the head, so he's like father of the team, and people look at him, they expect him to say something good. They always expect him to say something encouraging them, to make them comfortable. And the coach should understand the philosophy is, if the coach is easily provoked, he will make the athletes uncomfortable, and the team will never win. I think I said enough about this topic, and I'm going to produce at least 1 or 2 more videos on coaching. One would be some probably coaches will think I'm talking about this person or that person. It's nothing personal. I'm just talking on basis of my experience, because people who know me, they know that I'm in powerlifting and some other sports over 40 years. And I have seen some coaches, they have no clue what the ethics are. And they just want to make the lifter win by any means, which sometimes I feel bad that this is not coaching what we're doing. But still, I don't want to talk too much about that subject. And I will also talk about the philosophy of the coaching, how we can make the lifters or any other kind of athletes or performers to perform better. There are so many good coaches everywhere, and there's so many really worse coaches. But the problem is sometimes even the bad coaches, they don't realize the coach is bad himself or herself. And some good coaches, they are always down to earth, and they always work along with the lifters very good. But as I said, I will talk some ethics and morality in coaching. But some coaches, they don't follow at all. And some coaches rather, they will go out of their way to make the lifters comfortable, and even to help the other lifters who are competing against their own lifters. That's what I call sportsmanship. And then, as I said, I will talk about 1 or 2 different kind of philosophies in the coming lessons. And I hope you liked my the reviews, and don't take it seriously that it's personal. There's maybe so many things wrong by me, and people can tell me what I'm doing wrong. And I would request you to share this video if you like it. Even if you don't like it, just share it so that people can accuse me something or blame me, whatever. And at least if they don't like it, they will tell me what's wrong with me. And I'm always open for suggestions, because if I don't hear from people, I will not improve. I will say or think what I think is right, So please subscribe my channel and share this video. And once again, thank you for watching.